Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. We always try to pick topics that are relevant and helpful, and today we're tackling one that hits close to home, literally financing home repairs.
Yeah, those unexpected expenses can really throw a wrench in your budget.
Tell me about it. But don't worry, because we've got you covered. We're diving into two fantastic articles from my financial programs, and they're packed with tips on handling those urgent situations, plus some smart strategies for planning ahead.
And you know what's really cool about these articles? They actually offer solutions for both immediate needs and those bigger projects down the line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whether you've got a leaky faucet or you're dreaming of a full kitchen remodel, we've got some insights that can help. And don't forget to check out the resource links on the episode page for even more info.
We've got all those extra goodies for you right there.
Now, to help us break it all down, we've got our amazing expert here who's like a financial wizard when it comes to personal finance. I'm so excited to dive into these articles with you and get your take on everything.
Well, I have to say, one thing that really struck me was how the articles emphasize the urgency of certain situations. Like when it comes to safety, you can't afford to wait.
Right. It's not just about aesthetics. It's about making sure your home is safe and livable.
Exactly. Like if a tree decides to make a surprise visit to your living room or your electrical system starts throwing sparks, you need to act fast.
No kidding. So let's talk about those immediate financing options, because sometimes you just need to get things fixed.
Yeah.
ASAP. The articles mention a few familiar ones, starting with the good old credit card.
Yeah, the trusty credit card. It's convenient, it's readily available, but there's that little catch, the interest rates.
Oh yeah, those interest rates can really sneak up on you.
If you can't pay off that balance quickly, those repairs could end up costing you way more in the long run.
It's tempting to just slap it on the plastic, but
Yeah.
you got to be mindful of that interest trap.
Absolutely. And that's where the articles suggest considering a personal loan as a potential alternative.
Oh, that's interesting. Tell me more about why a personal loan might be a better choice in some cases.
Well, for starters, they often come with lower interest rates than those pesky credit cards.
Okay, that's a plus.
And you usually get a fixed monthly payment, which can make budgeting a lot easier, especially when you're already dealing with the stress of an unexpected repair.
Yeah, having that predictable payment can definitely bring some peace of mind.
Plus, they can be surprisingly fast to secure, especially with all those online lenders these days.
The articles even mention a single mom, Sarah, who used a personal loan to fix her flooded basement. She was able to get the funds quickly and get those repairs done without delay.
It's a great example of how accessible these options have become.
Technology to the rescue.
For sure. But of course, you always want to shop around and compare rates from different lenders.
Right, don't just jump at the first offer you see.
Take the time to find the loan that really fits your needs and your budget.
It's like anything else in life. A little bit of research can go a long way.
Absolutely. And, while we're talking about potential lifelines, we can't forget about home insurance.
Oh yeah, home insurance. It's like that superhero cape we all have, but sometimes forget to wear.
Exactly. The articles really emphasize that understanding your policy and maximizing your coverage can be a game changer when it comes to financing repairs.
So true. It's like having a secret weapon, but you got to know how to use it.
You've got to know what you're working with. And that's where those expert tips in the articles really shine. They break it down and explain what's typically covered, like damage from storms or fire vandalism, even liability if someone gets injured on your property.
It's like having a safety net for all those what-if moments.
Exactly. And knowing how to use that safety net effectively is key.
One tip that stuck with me was creating a detailed home inventory with photos and receipts for your valuables.
Oh, that's a smart move. It can make the claims process so much smoother if you ever need to file one.
It's all about being prepared, right?
Absolutely. Having that documentation ready can save you a ton of headaches and potential disputes with the insurance company.
No one wants to deal with that extra stress.
So it's definitely worth taking the time to get organized.
And speaking of being prepared, the articles also delve into a range of financing options for those larger-scale repairs or renovations. Things that might not be covered by insurance or exceed your policy limits.
Right, those big projects that require a bit more planning.
And that's what we're going to dive into next. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a jiffy.
Okay, so we've talked about those quick fixes, those urgent situations, but what about those bigger projects? The ones that require a bit more planning and a little more financial muscle.
Yeah, like a major roof repair or a complete kitchen makeover. Those are the kind of things that can make you sweat a little bit.
Definitely. But don't worry, because that's where those longer-term financing options come into play.
All right, lay it on me. What are our options when we're talking about those big-ticket repairs?
Well, one that's often mentioned is the home equity line of credit. the ELOC.
ELOC, yeah, I've heard of those, but I'm not exactly sure how they work.
It's basically a way to tap into the equity you've built in your home. And the interest rates are usually pretty lower than you'd find with a personal loan or credit card.
So you're using your home's value to your advantage.
Precisely.
Hmm.
But of course, like any financial tool, there are some things to watch out for.
Okay, what's the catch?
The biggest one is that your home is the collateral. If you can't make those payments, you could end up losing your house.
Oh, wow. That's a serious consideration.
It is. And you also want to keep in mind that ADLOCs often have variable interest rates. So those payments can fluctuate a bit, making budgeting a little trickier.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. You got to stay on top of those payments.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool, but it definitely requires careful planning and monitoring.
Gotcha. So ALOCs are one option. What else is out there for those larger projects?
Well, the articles also highlight government-backed loans like FHA Title I loans.
FHA title.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with those.
They're specifically designed for home improvements,
Yeah.
and they can be a really good option for people who might not qualify for traditional loans, folks who maybe haven't built up a lot of equity yet or have a less than perfect credit score.
It's just like a helping hand from Uncle Sam.
Exactly. And don't forget about local programs, too.
Oh, yeah, those local initiatives. I remember seeing something about that.
Cities and counties often have their own assistance programs for home repairs, especially for low to moderate income residents.
That's great. It's like having a secret stash of support right in your own community.
It is. And these programs can offer a variety of options, grants low-interest loans, even help with finding qualified contractors.
So it's definitely worth checking out what's available in your area.
Absolutely. You never know what kind of gems you might find.
Okay, so we've got EPLOCs, government-backed loans, local programs. What other long-term options are on the table?
Another popular choice is a home equity loan. And this one's a little different from an APLOC.
How so?
Well, a APLOC is a revolving line of credit. You can borrow as you need it, kind of like a credit card. A home equity loan, on the other hand, gives you a lump sum of money up front.
Ah, so it's like a one-time infusion of cash that you can use for a specific project.
Exactly. And again, your home serves as the collateral, so there's that inherent risk to consider.
Right. You got to make sure you can handle those payments.
But on the plus side, home equity loans usually have fixed interest rates.
Okay, so those payments are predictable. You know exactly what you're going to be paying each month.
Exactly. And they often have higher borrowing limits than AELOCs, so you can access more funds if needed.
So for a major renovation, that could be a game changer.
Definitely. It gives you a bit more financial flexibility.
The articles also mention something called FHA 203K, rehabilitation loans. Those sound intriguing.
They are. These are specifically for homeowners who are buying a fixer-upper or need to make significant repair.
Fixer-uppers. I love a good fixer-upper story.
They can be a lot of work, but also super rewarding. What's cool about these loans is that you can actually roll the cost of those repairs into your mortgage.
Wait, so you're essentially financing the purchase of the house and the repairs all in one loan. That's brilliant.
It is. It streamlines the whole process, and it can be a fantastic option for people who want to tackle a major renovation project without juggling multiple loans.
So you're not running around trying to manage different payments and interest rates.
Exactly. It keeps things nice and tidy. And the article even mentions that an FHA 203K loan can often be paired with an FHA Title I loan.
So you can get even more funding for those repairs.
Precisely. It's like a financial power couple working together to make your homeownership dreams come true.
I love it. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. ADLOCs, home equity loans, government-backed loans, and those unique 203K loans for fixer-uppers. That's a pretty impressive arsenal of financing options.
It is, and I think the key takeaway here is that you have choices. It's all about understanding the pros and cons of each option and finding the one that best aligns with your financial situation and your goals for your home.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And speaking of finding the right fit, the articles also touch on something that's often overlooked: the power of using your home insurance effectively to cover repairs.
Ah, yes, the unsung hero of homeownership.
It's true. So many people don't realize how much their home insurance can potentially...
They think of it as just protection against major disasters, but it can actually come in handy for a wider range of situations.
Exactly. Like if a storm damages your roof or a pipe bursts and floods your basement, your insurance might be able to help.
That's where understanding your policy is crucial. You got to know what's covered and what's not.
The articles highlight the importance of reading that fine print and knowing your rights as a policyholder.
They also offer some valuable tips on maximizing your coverage and streamlining the claims process.
Yeah, one tip I found super helpful was to document everything thoroughly.
Oh, that's so important. Take photos and videos of the damage, keep detailed records of repairs, and save all those receipts. It can make a huge difference when it comes to filing a claim.
It's like building a case file for your insurance company.
Exactly. Having that solid documentation not only supports your claim, but also ensures that you're fairly compensated for any covered losses.
So it's not just about getting the money, it's about getting the right amount.
Precisely. And the articles also emphasize the importance of working closely with your insurance adjuster throughout the process.
Like having a partner in crime. A partner in insurance claims.
Exactly. They can guide you through the steps, answer your questions, and advocate on your behalf.
I'm reminded of that story in the article about John and Lisa in Florida.
Oh, yes. Their roof was damaged during a hurricane.
They were able to get it temporarily patched while waiting for their insurance claim to be processed, which prevented further damage to their home.
It's a perfect example of being proactive and knowing how to utilize those expert tips.
It all comes back to that idea of being informed and empowered.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to navigating the sometimes confusing world of insurance.
And speaking of knowledge and empowerment, we're going to wrap up this deep dive with some final thoughts and a little challenge for you, our amazing listeners.
We want you to take this information and really put it to good use.
All right, so we've journeyed through the ins and outs of financing home repairs, those quick fixes, and those major renovations that can really test your budget.
It's been quite a ride, hasn't it? From credit cards to personal loans to those super interesting government-backed options and even tapping into local resources. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have, and I hope our listeners are feeling a bit more confident and empowered now, armed with all this knowledge.
Me too, because knowledge really is power, especially when it comes to making those tough financial decisions.
Absolutely, and one of the key takeaways I hope folks are walking away with is the importance of having a plan. It's so much easier to navigate those unexpected situations when you've already thought through your options.
Exactly. It's like having a roadmap for those what-if moments.
Yeah.
It can really reduce that stress and overwhelm when you're facing a repair.
Right, instead of scrambling and making hasty decisions, you've got a clear course of action.
And part of that plan is understanding the full range of resources available to you. I like to think of it as having a financial toolkit specifically for home repairs.
Oh, I like that analogy.
You've got your quick fix tools for those immediate needs like credit cards and personal loans.
Those are your trusty screwdrivers and hammers.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got your heavy-duty tools for those bigger projects like AVUL-ACs and home equity loans.
Those are your power drills and circular saws.
Precisely. And let's not forget that secret compartment in the toolbox filled with those government-backed loans and local assistance programs.
Those are like your specialty tools, the ones you don't use every day, but boy, are they handy when you need them.
Exactly. It's all about knowing what's in your toolkit and how to use each tool effectively.
And of course, we can't forget about our trusty sidekick, home insurance.
Oh yeah, home insurance, that safety net that's always there, even if we sometimes forget about it.
It's like having a guardian angel looking out for our home ownership adventures.
Exactly. And while it might not cover every single situation, it can be a real lifesaver when those unexpected disasters strike, those firestorms, vandalism even.
It's like having a financial cushion for those what-if moments.
Right, and understanding your policy and knowing what's covered is so important.
Absolutely. You got to read that fine print and make sure you're getting the most out of your coverage.
And remember those expert tips we shared about maximizing your coverage and streamlining the claims process?
Like documenting everything thoroughly, taking photos, keeping records, and saving all those receipts.
That's key. It can really make a difference when it comes to filing a claim and getting the compensation you deserve.
It's all about being proactive and organized.
Exactly. And working closely with your insurance adjuster throughout the process. They can be a valuable ally.
Speaking of allies, I'm reminded of John and Lisa in Florida. Remember, their roof was damaged during that hurricane.
Oh yeah, they were able to get a temporary patch while they waited for their insurance claim to be processed, which prevented further damage to their home.
It's a great example of how being informed and taking those extra steps can really pay off.
It all comes back to that idea of empowerment, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Knowing your options, understanding your resources, and advocating for yourself.
And remember, even if you're feeling overwhelmed, there's help available.
Yes. Those articles we discussed are a fantastic starting point.
And don't forget about those resource links on the episode page. We've got even more in-depth information and guidance there for you.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a little challenge.
A challenge, yes. How can you use all this newfound knowledge to create a more proactive plan for handling those inevitable home repairs?
What steps can you take today to ensure you're prepared for whatever comes your way?
Think about those expert tips, those little nuggets of wisdom that can make a big difference.
Like creating a detailed home inventory, shopping around for the best loan rates.
Every step you take towards preparedness is a step towards peace of mind and financial security.
You've got this. You're not alone in this journey.
Yeah.
There are resources and experts out there to guide you every step of the way.
So go forth and conquer those home repairs.
And until next time, happy home ownership, everyone.